you know, The Miracle at St. Anna. Well, Bad 24 is, or Bad 25 is a documentary. You're getting my point. If it's not a quality film, or what the Academy thinks is a quality film, it's not going to get nominated. And not everybody is going to agree because it's all subjective. I mean, I thought Captain America Winter Soldier was one of the best films of the year. I thought Guardians of the Galaxy was one of the best films of the year. I don't see any nominations. I don't see Dave Bautista getting a nomination for Best Supporting Actor. Or James Gunn getting a nomination for Best Film, Best Director, for what was done with Guardians of the Galaxy. Sometimes the best way to win isn't on how many awards you get, but it's on the, well, for lack of a better term, how much money you make off of it. I look at The Road to Serfdom by Friedrich Hayek, which I do recommend people reading, even though it's a tough book to read. And he says here, because in modern society it is through the limitation of our money incomes that we are made to feel the restrictions which our relative poverty still imposes us, many have come to hate money as the symbol of these restrictions. But this is to mistake for the cause the medium through which a force makes itself felt. It would be much truer to say that money is one of the greatest instruments of freedom ever invented by man. It is money which in existing society opens an astounding range of choices to the poor man, a range greater than that which not many generations ago was open to the wealthy. Sometimes winning at the box office is much better than winning an award. I'm just saying. We're going to take a break, and we will be right back. So, obviously my comment to Al Sharpton is, shut up, Al Sharpton. Wait until next year. And it should also be pointed out that Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu is Mexican. So, while he looks white, he's Mexican. So there is racial diversity. This is Saturday Night Cigar Lounge. We'll be back right after this.
This is the Pint-Sized Pundit, and I am here to tell you that anything Taylor says on Saturday Night Cigar Lounge is his opinion and his opinion only. He does not speak for his employer, his employer's employer, or anyone else. He especially doesn't speak for Liz unless she says so.
This is Liz Harrison, and you know, I have no idea how many times people have told me conservative women can't be sexy. Well, we can prove them wrong. Listen here on Vigilant Liberty Radio, Friday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern, the conservative feminist show where the ladies are kink-servative.
Hi, this is Jason Dibbler, co-host of Q with a View, heard every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on FTR Radio. Right now, FTR needs your help in making the jump into the 21st century through some long-needed equipment upgrades. This is where you, the great and loyal listeners of Great Conservative Talk Radio, can really lend a hand. Visit GoFundMe.com/helpupgradeFTR right now. Your assistance, no matter how small, will help to ensure that FTR can continue to offer some of the best conservative radio on the interwebs. Your donation of $50 gets you up to 60 seconds of airtime on FTR radio 4 times. For $100, your ad will run 10 times, or if you don't want to run an ad, you can have 30 minutes of FTR airtime to talk about anything you want. There are other thank yous for other levels of giving as well, but those are some pretty great offers. We hope you'll consider making a small donation to help keep quality conservative talk radio alive and thriving on the internet. Visit GoFundMe.com/helpupgradeFTR today. Thank you.
Hi, this is Mary Chastain of Breitbart News, and you're listening to Vigilant Liberty Radio.
Back here on Saturday Night Cigar Lounge, here on Vigilant Liberty Radio. I am your host, Taylor Millard. I will say this, because there has been some discussions out there about Scarlett Johansson playing the lead character in Ghost in the Shell. Now, the lead character in Ghost in the Shell, her name is Major Motoko Kusanagi. Personally, even though Scarlett Johansson is a pretty decent actress, personally, I'd prefer them cast a Japanese actress. Just because that's what the actress is. Or the actress is, the character is. That's just my personal opinion. I'd also have a problem if they didn't give her purple hair. Read Ghost in the Shell and you'll know what I'm talking about. Although, to be honest, though, if you look at how she's drawn, in reality, if you look at how she's drawn, she could be played by a white person. I'd prefer it to be played by a Japanese person just to kind of keep up with how it looks in the comic or in the manga, and the fact that it takes place in Japan. But I will say that I am kind of amused by this, because the people who get mad about Idris Elba possibly being Bond, and I think he'd make a great Bond, or I have to look up Thor, The Dark World. And I, by the way, was one of the people who had a problem with this, because they had, and this is all due respect to Tada Nobu Asano playing Hogun in Thor and Thor the Dark World. I had a problem with that. But the reason why I had a problem with that is he's playing a Norse god. And I don't know that many Norse Asians. I know a couple of black Norsemen. They're rare, but I know a couple of black Norsemen. So I had no problem with Idris Elba playing Heimdall. But the ones who complain about that, who say, hey, the character was previously white, why are you making him black? Or Asian, or whatever. We're the racists. The ones who say, hey, she's a Japanese character, why are you having a white girl play her? You're whitewashing the film. They're not. The duality, I mean, just the hypocrisy. It's amazing. You know, it's just, it's amazing. Let's also, ignore the fact that Hogan is part of the Warriors 3 in Thor. And or it's Volstagg. Excuse me. It's Volstagg, who has not who did appear, played by Ray Stevenson. But Volstagg is supposed to be big, fat, with red hair. And that's not what he was. Now, I guess I can be accused of being too, wanting, characters to be on film to be as close to as they appear on the page, or in print, or on TV, maybe. But I would be called a racist, whereas others don't. One other note, by the way, about the Oscars that people forget. The Academy president is Cheryl Boone Isaacs. There's a picture of her and Chris Pine up on Business Empire or BusinessInsider.com. Yeah, she's black. And yeah. She's black. So, I'm just saying. What I would find very amusing is if she were forced to resign because of this. She also pointed out to the Associated Press today, actually, that while each branch comes up with its own criteria for excellence and each nominates its colleague, all voting is individual and confidential. For instance, only directors can suggest best director nominees, and only actors can nominate actors. So what does that say? I guess all of Hollywood directors are racist then. I guess. Same with the actors. Same with the actresses.